As countries in Africa continue to work towards achieving the Education for All EFA goals by 2015, the United Nations system is also redoubling its efforts in partnership with governments to revitalize basic education in Africa. Thus, the introduction of the Basic Education in Africa program, BEAP, initiated by UNESCO.
The Basic Education Africa program is actually helping with the implementation of education for all. It is one that is inclusive, it doesn't exclude anybody. It is one that would ensure that there is the right type of interaction between parents, government, schools, communities, and therefore ensuring that everybody is very clear about why their kids have to go to school and not just depend on the school fixing the problem, but that the school and the home would together work towards guaranteeing that the child benefits from education.
The Basic Education in Africa program, which directly addresses each of the 6 Education for All goals, has been launched in about 7 countries in Africa. The Gambia is one of them and has been described as one of the most advanced countries in promoting the expanded vision of basic education to guarantee access, quality, and relevance of education. As one of the pilot countries in the implementation of such reforms, the country has gone through a process that many African countries would love to emulate.
We started changing nomenclature in the system. Primary schools were changed to lower basic schools because we are now looking at basic education and not primary education, then middle school education. All right, then we change all primary schools to lower basic schools, all middle schools to upper basic schools. So meaning the lower and the upper form the continuum for basic education. In some schools, we even transform them into what we call basic cycle schools, where a child will enter grade 1 and will not leave that school until he finishes grade 9. All right? But in other schools, we have 1 to 6, all right, tenable in certain communities, and 7, 8, 9 tenable in different communities. But then the distance is not very far. The whole idea is to be able to provide basic learning needs to Gambian children, learning needs sufficient to enhance self-employability for our children.
The bold step taken by the Gambia to implement BEAP many years ago is now being emulated by other countries. Senegal, for example, has started planning and putting together structures in preparation for the introduction of a 10-year uninterrupted basic education system.
Nous sommes en campagne de communication. Des rencontres régulières se tiennent entre nous et les organisations syndicales, entre nous et les parents d'élèves, entre nous et tous les partenaires techniques pour nous accompagner dans ce processus. Parce que nous savons qu'il y a des conditions. Nous savons qu'il faut changer le mode d'évaluation. Le mode d'évaluation, l'entrée en 6e, qui est un concours très cher, qui est très stressant également pour les enfants, nous allons l'abandonner. Déjà, nous avons commencé parce qu'en relâchant, il y a moins de stress. Donc, petit à petit, nous allons y arriver. Mais nous allons le remplacer, ce mode d'évaluation, par un autre mode d'évaluation qui tienne compte du curriculum de l'éducation de base qu'on est en train de mettre en œuvre, qui est en train de se généraliser. Donc aujourd'hui, on est à 2 ans ou 3 ans de la généralisation, donc peut-être que dans encore 2 ans, nous aurons la généralisation totale. Et il sera nécessaire, effectivement, de faire le passage. Mais ça, ce n'est qu'un élément, la suppression. Ce qu'il faut, c'est préparer les 10 ans, préparer les différents curriculums, préparer le mode d'évaluation, préparer la formation des enseignants, préparer également le nouveau leadership.
However, a reform as ambitious as BEAP comes with challenges which have to be overcome if the process is to be accepted at different levels. How ready then is Senegal for such a reform?
Et aujourd'hui, après 10 ans d'investissement dans le primaire, avec aujourd'hui aujourd'hui un taux brut de scolarisation de 94,5% au primaire. Nous avons suffisamment développé les capacités d'accueil du primaire et aujourd'hui, l'on peut dire que nous avons créé les conditions pour une scolarisation primaire universelle en 2015. C'est l'objectif de l'EPT. Et depuis 2010, toujours dans la perspective justement de cette éducation de base de 10 ans, nous avons fait en sorte que 95% des sortants du primaire sont passés au poste primaire.
The implementation of such an initiative requires a lot of effort for tangible results that would impact on the lives of people and develop nations. What has been UNESCO's major contribution in the entire process?
The focus for the Basic Education Africa program is competency-based curriculum, is reinforcing the professional development of teachers, and is also helping build capacities of teachers and curriculum developers to be able to properly assess learning and help students to learn better.
When you look at what we are trying to achieve within UNESCO by supporting countries which are embarked in extending access to free and basic education of 9 to 10 years, is to support them to elaborate effective policies which integrate early childhood, basic education meaning primary and also lower level of secondary education, but also engaging in a profound curricular reform whereby we move from just cognitive development to really development of competencies, attitudinal skills, ethics, etc. So it is a comprehensive reform whereby also we look at how can we integrate the indigenous knowledge system and modernize them so that people can use it within their own environment.
How the country implement it, first of all, it is something, it's sovereign, so it is country-driven. They have to decide for it. Secondly, country have to have the legal and political framework to implement this basic education. Thirdly, country have to integrate it within the education plan and the education plan process in the country.
Essentially, the major challenge we had initially was the capacity was not there, right? Or insufficient capacity. That was a major challenge. But we dealt with that by building more capacity and then providing technical support where it is needed, and the capacity will take a longer time to build. Okay. In that light, allow me please to also, since I'm on capacity building, especially of curriculum people, curriculum personnel in Africa, I think it's important to also mention at this stage the postgraduate diploma in curriculum design and development, which is hopefully we're going to start in October. It's a course which is going to be offered by the Open University of Tanzania in collaboration with Tanzania Institute of Education, along with the UNESCO family, notably UNESCO BREDA, IBE, and Teacher Education Division of Paris. So that program, which will start this year in September, is supposed to support countries to build the capacity of their curriculum people.
By embracing new options and agreeing to adopt new solutions, the Basic Education in Africa program, BEAP, offers countries an integrated approach to education and ensures quality, relevance, and continuity.